Don Stevens, who's the current chairman of Dream Cricket Australia. Don will probably tell you quite a bit more about himself, but his background is in education, and he's been a prime mover in Dream Cricket, particularly in Dubbo, for at least 6 years that I know of, and it's possibly even longer. I'm sure he'll fill that in. Don took over from me as chairman about 2 years ago, 18 months, 2 years ago, and has been working with a very active board who've been doing quite a number of exciting things that I'm sure he can tell you all about, and I'm looking forward to learning a lot of things that I haven't caught up with as well. About 3.5 years ago, we got together in Bowral as a board and a number of other peoples, and I think Don might explain tonight a little bit about the structure of Dream Cricket and the fact that actually we can all become members of Dream Cricket Australia and be involved in the activities more directly and be able to contribute to the overall management of the program throughout Australia. At the meeting we held 2 years ago, we produced a mission statement and a strategic plan, which was due to last us 4 or 5 years. We're probably 2 to 3 years into that strategic plan now. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce Don, and I think you might like to just quickly introduce yourselves to Don as he comes on. I think you've met Ross and a number of the others, Don, but perhaps we can all introduce ourselves. Yep. So Norman, Judy, I don't think you've met Don yet.
No, we haven't met Don.
Hi, Norman, Judy.
Yeah. And Margaret, I think you've met Don, have you?
On the telephone.
On the telephone. Okay.
Hi, Margaret.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Hi, Don.
Right.
So
okay. Well, over to you, Don.
Thanks, Bruce. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me and the opportunity to talk a bit about one of my favourite subjects, Dream Cricket. And I guess you people are scattered far and wide. Do you all live in the South Coast area, or is there people further afield than that?
No, Don, we're located either in Canberra or in the Shoalhaven area at the moment, as where our club are primarily located, and they're the two areas where we've been involved with Dream Cricket as well.
Yeah, okay, well thanks. You seem to be doing a wonderful job down there. There's some wonderful reports coming out of your area, and it's one of our strongest districts in terms of promoting Dream Cricket. So thanks for the good work there, and hopefully we can get more support down to you so that that program can expand further. But I'll give you a bit of a rundown on how the program developed and where we're at now and what we hope to do in the future. And please, if you have any questions, stop me mid-track, or we can answer them at the end with it, whatever suits you. The vision statement that Bruce referred to is there, and our mission statement and values. They're the sorts of things that I think most organisations like to develop these days. And we had quite a lot of discussion a couple of years ago, as Bruce mentioned, to arrive at those outcomes. Dream Cricket was the brainchild of a doctor in your area down there, Dr. Rolly Big, Executive Chair of the Movement Disorder Foundation. He visited America and came in contact with the Miracle League, which was based on baseball and adapted for children with disabilities. So he thought that idea should be able to be attached to cricket. And so he came back to Australia, teamed up with a few other Rotarians from the Southern Highlands there and the Bradman Foundation, and that was the birth of Dream Cricket. So just a quick summary of some of the events leading up to the development of Dream Cricket. 2008, Rolly goes to America. Seed funding came from the MDF, Movement Disorder Foundation, and initially a partnership with Bradman and Rotary, the Bradman Foundation. First Dream Cricket Gala Day was held at Bradman Oval, 2010, and I think Dubbo might have been the second one to hold a Dream Cricket Day outside Bowral, and we did that in 2011. So spread throughout Australia. Wherever Rotary clubs come in contact with the concept of Dream Cricket, there's a lot of enthusiasm displayed, and that's encouraging. They can usually see the benefits that these children get out of the program and are usually willing to support it. It's just then a matter of giving those clubs and those individuals the support to continue the program on. And that's the function of Dream Cricket Australia. That's why we exist. In 2012, the concept was taken to India, then Sri Lanka, then Nepal. And as Bruce mentioned, in 2015, we were incorporated and we set up the corporate structure, and that two-day meeting in Bowral, we were able to achieve most of that. So what is Dream Cricket? It's, of course, based on cricket skills, but then it's not cricket. It's really a different game. And it's often heard from teachers and parents, oh, but my Johnny can't play cricket, so he wouldn't be able to join in. And then we have to set about convincing Johnny's teachers and Johnny's parents that they really can join in, because the games, the activities can be adapted to any level of disability. Who is it targeted to? Well, primary school children, year 3 to 6. Although there's been many successful programs held outside that age range, it's not generally what we are targeting, and really the equipment probably is not suited to the bigger and stronger children. But with adaptation of the equipment, well, that could surely be done. And Cricket New South Wales and Cricket Australia are working on programs to do that. So kits were put together with equipment that had been checked over by the medicos and people from the Movement Disorder Foundation to make a judgment on their appropriateness to the activities and to the students. And so we have a small...
Now, the bottom left, I've got mute.
We're right. We have two kits available. One we call a small kit or a school kit, and then we have the larger kit with some extra activities in it for the gala days. The idea of the smallest kit is to make it available to all the schools, and, either by donation or have the school buy one themselves. And it's been our aim here in Dubbo to equip all the schools that are willing to participate with a kit, and we've reached that level. We hope that they are then able to use that kit, that equipment, on a weekly basis for their students with special needs. I say we hope that they're being used that way and not just being stored under the stairwell somewhere gathering dust. But so with the kit, we like to hold clinics in schools. That's the first step. So there's 2 stages, clinics and gala days. The idea of the clinic is to engage with smaller numbers of students, 1 or 2 schools, 25 to 30 students maximum, and it allows the students and the teachers to become familiar with the equipment. I believe if we just write to them or contact them, they bring your kids to a gala day. If they haven't seen the equipment and participated in the program, they're probably not switched on enough to be enthusiastic about coming to a gala day. So it's important as the lead up to what we regard as the grand final. The gala day, we here in Dubbo hold it in October, so it's a once a year event. We let schools know early in the year the date. It's important to establish a contact in each school and make sure that you renew those contacts each year, because school staff change. And the gala day is a fun day. You usually invite a number of schools. We're aiming to get 150 students here this year. The one at Bowral has about that number, or perhaps a few more. And so they're very successful days. The important thing is to make it fun for the kids. They get to travel from their school, represent their school, and come to a place where they have a good day of fun. And at the end of it, they receive a medallion. And that's the highlight on many occasions for these children. They really appreciate receiving that medal at the end of the day. So the sorts of skills and things that are encouraged, and here you can see kids with obviously different levels of ability participating, and we've had kids students in wheelchairs who could hardly sit up, but still able to get enjoyment out of being part of this program. And that's what keeps us going, when we see those students getting so much out of it, and in fact, talking about it for days afterwards. That's the payment for being involved. And you can see a few of the different activities happening there. Field participants received a medal. It's important to involve the community. With the activities on the gala day, and also for a clinic, you need young, fit people to help. And senior students, we get year 10 or year 11 students to help out here, and I think most venues do the same. Those students get as much out of it as the special needs students. Just as an example, in our situation here last year, we invited year 10 students from one of the Catholic high schools, and the teacher there, I'm not sure what the subject area was, but he then made that into a project, a 3 or 4 week project for the students. They first had to research Rotary. They had to research dream cricket and disabilities, and they had to do presentations on various aspects of that topic. Then the culmination was for them to come along on our gala day and participate by running each of the events for the program for the day, and they do a fantastic job. So the involvement of senior kids gives them more understanding of what some other students have to go through in their daily lives, and I think it's a great educational value for those students. We do get quite a number of testimonials. I had one mum tell me that her son slept with his for about a week after he wouldn't take it off. And so you get all those sorts of feedbacks, which is great. Dream Cricket is an ongoing program. It's not just a one-day-a-year program. As I said, we like to think that the schools use the equipment on a regular basis that we provide for them in the small kits. The Gala Day kit, usually a group of Rotary clubs or a single Rotary club buy that to use on the Gala Day. It has quite a bit more equipment in it, and it's more expensive too. We're revamping the equipment in those kits, and we're pretty sure that the price will come down from where it's been. The Gala Day kit's been a bit over $3,000. We hope we can reduce that considerably and still have good equipment in it. So we're trying to get the kits into as many schools as possible, and we therefore need to have people on the ground who are prepared and trained to run the program. In order to do that, we have in the past 2 years brought interested Rotarians down to Bowral. When they hold their program, their Gala Day is held on the last Friday in October. And for example, last October, we invited four Rotarians from the central coastal area of Queensland. And they came down for 2 days, and we ran them through the aims of the program and the bit of the history of the program, and how to set up a field, how to send out correspondence to the schools to get them involved, and provided them with training manuals and all that sort of thing. We were able to support them with their accommodation and some of their travel costs. And we've had some really good news just recently as well, in that so that we can continue doing that on an annual basis, the Movement Disorder Foundation has donated $25,000 to us for use over the next 5 years to train program organisers in various districts, bring them down to Bowral, give them some support and training there, and have them go back to their areas and introduce or continue developing the program. As I said, last year we did that with some Central Queensland people, and they've gone back and been doing some wonderful things. Marjorie and I did a caravan tour up in that area back in May, June, and called in on those people and saw some of the work they were doing, and they've really taken it in their teeth along with it. So we hope to duplicate that sort of program again this year. We're going to target some the Melbourne area. And I might just at this stage explain where we have our centres of influence at the moment. I suppose I should have done that at the beginning, but we have 7 board members, and they are leading the charge in various areas. We have one in Rockhampton, and Craig Emerson up there is a past district governor, and he's doing a great job, and he's mentoring and supervising, I guess, those 4 other guys that we brought down last October. We have Peter Dell, who's in Melbourne, and he's a bit of a cricket tragic, and he's very well organised down there. So hopefully we can get some of his people up to Bowral this year. We have Kevin in Adelaide, who's also doing a great job, and then I'm here in Dubbo. We have 3 of our board members in Orange, Secretary Murray Patterson, Mary Brell and Jeff Tancred. So we've got a bit of a spread on, which is good. We felt we needed to have a geographic spread, so we've achieved that, and hopefully we can develop that even further. Western Australia, we haven't had much influence yet. We've tried, but we just weren't quite ready to follow that program up to keep it going. So in next year or the year after, we hope to get back there and get that running again. But we've got a lot of territory to cover here in New South Wales. Sydney areas, we haven't had much of a footprint yet. You guys down there on the south coast around Canberra doing a great job, but there's a lot of challenges ahead of us. We have some people interested in up around Inverell, Tamworth and Armidale, so we might get some of those in to do some training as well, and they can then go back and grow the program in their area. We do have a website, and I hope that you're aware of that. It's there on the screen now, dreamcricket.org.au. We do have a manual too, so anybody getting involved or wanting to get a little bit more around the procedures and looking for hints and help, we can get a manual to you, and I think it's available on the website as well.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, thanks, Bruce. So we're looking for each district to have a coordinator, and then hopefully that person can make contacts in each of the clubs and grow the program that way. I've probably talked for long enough, so maybe some questions if you have some.
Perhaps I'll just come in, Don, and thank you for that. And you might have noticed that Jonathan Lyle has joined us. Welcome, Jonathan. And of course, Jonathan's been a real driving force here in Canberra to getting Dream Cricket going and doing a great job. Our club is working in a joint venture with an MOU between us to looking at Canberra, but Jonathan's been the man at the front, the pointy end, doing a lot of the detail work, and that relationship is working very well. Something you might think about when you're talking to districts, other districts, that it is the sort of program that lends itself to clubs combining to run it. And of course, Bowral Mittagong and have joined with another club for a long time. I think Southern Highlands have had a joint venture going there for almost since the start of the project. Don, I was wondering how we have in fact nominated, or someone has been identified in the Shoalhaven area, who might be interested in becoming a coordinator. How would we go about getting him nominated to attend the training program at Bowral?
Just simply send me or Murray Patterson an email with name and contact particulars at this stage. Murray and I only discussed this today about getting invitations out and how we're going to reach people. So we're going to have to do it through our current contacts, and hopefully just have them email back the details, and then we'll contact that person with how they go about it, the details of when and where.
Okay. Margaret, are you still online?
John's here, yes.
Oh, hi. It was Steve Smith, I think you were talking about, as being interested. Is he still expressing interest in becoming a coordinator down in your area?
Yes, John was interested. Steve has had a problem with his family problems at the moment that he's trying to engage, that's all. But John has been working as coordinator with Ken, so.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, at the moment, I've been assisted in the first clinic by Ken, and then I've effectively run 2 others down there. Steve Smith will be, he wasn't able to run one we held more recently because of the family issue, but he's on board, and as soon as we arrange dates in the near future, I'll help Steve to learn the ropes. So I think we're getting it together down here on the south coast, yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah, that's terrific. Well, if you've got 1 or 2 people that would like to come up to Bowral, that last
yeah, I'm happy to have a go at Bowral as well, because I think I had the opportunity to attend with Jonathan at the last year's Gala Day in Canberra. That was an eye-opener. So the more things you can see and learn from, the better.
Yeah, that's great. We'd certainly welcome you. Yeah, and I must congratulate Canberra on, and I guess Jonathan had a lot to do with it, on the fantastic reports I've heard about that Gala Day you held in Canberra. To get the Governor-General, it was a coup, of course.
Well, I guess it's open for questions. What would people like to know now that we're lucky enough to have Don with us? And we might even think about doing this on a regular basis, Don, just to keep in touch with what's happening.
Yep. Just while you're thinking of a question, I guess our limiting factor is finances. We're just battling along on donations and a little bit of surplus we make out of equipment. And we've tried a few options to try and get some worthwhile support funding, including the Commonwealth Bank and a couple of others. We haven't as yet cracked anything that's of any size. One tip, though, I might give to the local committees is to approach your local registered clubs. The registered clubs are required to distribute some of their poker machine profits back to the community. And here in Dubbo, we apply each year. We've only been applying for $1,000, but they just hand that to us each year. it's not just one club, one registered club. There's 3 reasonably large ones here in Dubbo, so they do it. They combine resources to do it. And I know Curry Club over in the Hunter, they've just got $4,800 from the same source towards running their gala day. So that might be one to keep in mind. And if you haven't already tried it, there's a go on online. You get the special form and you submit that through your nearest registered club, RSL club, Bold club, whatever.
So, Don, what's your plans for next year in terms of expansion and engagement? So it sounds like you've got Melbourne, Adelaide, Dubbo, Orange and Rocky all well lined up. So what are the aims for next year?
We're very careful not to spread ourselves too thinly because as I said, we've got limited resources and at this stage, limited numbers. While we've got Peter Dell in Melbourne, we don't have too much other support there for him. So that's one area we want to build on this year. The Tamworth, Gunnedah, Armidale area could be another one, and also in South Australia. But as I said, if we had a few more funds, we could probably move a little bit more quickly with that. But that's where it is. Originally, if you noticed there, we were sort of promoting cricket in Sri Lanka and India and so on. But we decided that for the limited number of personnel and the resources we had, that probably was just spreading things a bit too thin. So, yeah, so we'd like to concentrate on those areas. Your Shoalhaven area, I guess you guys probably be working pretty diligently in that area, but yeah, we've got City of Sydney around. We've had some interest from clubs at Concord, but we just really haven't been able to follow it up to get anything progressive happening there. So I guess to answer your question, concentrate on Melbourne, central north of New South Wales, and also helping those guys up in Queensland keep moving forward.
Don, I was contacted by Rick McCarthy, who is talking about wanting to get the Far South Coast involved down around Moruya. Do you know about that?
No, I don't know anything about that. Yeah, Rick Rick stepped aside at one stage, and we sort of then, I guess, filled the gap where he was and proceeded on perhaps in a little bit different direction. And so we haven't heard much of Rick lately, but he certainly hasn't discussed that with the board.
Right, okay. Yep.
Can I say, it seems to me that the hardest thing is to keep up the momentum within each school. We've only got one school down in the Shoalhaven that is voluntarily using the kit that we gave them and are very keen and whatever, and the second one may be one of the high schools, but the others you really have to push and pull and beat around the head so that they find the time in their extremely busy schedules, but they don't tend to just grab it and use it every week with the kids as a matter of course. So that there's a lot of pushing rather than pulling, I think. I don't know how to express it, but it's really difficult to engage them on a regular basis. They tend to sort of wait until we decide or we ask them for another date. And getting them to use it as a standard sports day activity for these disabled kids is pretty hard. Often they just bring one class out of 11 or one class out of 6 at the school. That teacher of that disabled class doesn't even sort of seem to get around to asking the other mates in the school to bring theirs along. So it's really tough going. Whether we're just odd on the South Coast, I don't know.
I can assure you, you're not, Judy. No, same problem everywhere, and that's. I don't really know that we'll ever totally overcome that problem, but we can always just keep chipping away at it. The other thing that happens too is staff change each school year, and I find that fairly early in the year you need to get back to try to contact the person who was your contact last year, that they will forward you the details of the new contact should that change. And I've been thinking about that same problem and thinking of ways we might be able to reduce the problem. I wonder whether if we had the resources to send a monthly newsletter or something like that that just kept prompting those schools that had kids, whether that would help. But then, as I said, we're probably a bit light on resources at the moment to be able to do that. But yeah, it's just a matter of keeping in touch. I sent an email early in the year to re-establish those contacts, and then I try to just send little reminders up until about 6 weeks before the gala day. We offer our services to go back and run another clinic, and like you, Judy, we've only been asked back once. So we're unsure whether these kits are being used or not, but I suggest probably not.
Don, do you have a Facebook page?
Do I personally?
No, does the Dream Cricket, where we can get all the teachers from the various schools to put up when they use the kit, to say what they used it for, and encourage them to promote that they're in advance, and then potentially we can, or various clubs can provide support.
Yeah, we do have a face page.
Okay.
I'm not a big face page user, but Mary Brell, who's one of our directors from Orange, she looks after that, and I believe there's some quite good stuff on it. But yeah, that's a good point, Ross. Yeah, we should be encouraging all the schools to use it, support it. Yeah, take that on board and try to promote that, I think. It's there, but we need to make better use of it.
Do we have any other questions? Norm, did I hear you before?
Yeah, I was going to ask whether or not you have much contact with the education departments to try and develop promotional material to go into the schools through them rather than through Dream Cricket. Might be a way of getting the teachers more activated.
No, we haven't, to my knowledge, approached from that angle. No. Worth a thought. We have had somebody, Murray Patterson. He did speak to a gathering of primary school principals. All went away quite enthused, but that sort of thing there needs to be followed.
Don, it's Ross Ellis speaking. To what extent have you pushed Dream Cricket through the Zone Institute? I hesitate to say, look, isn't this a really fantastic idea because of the limited resources that you have? But if you're ever going to get it off the ground, you're going to need Rotary support, which you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And to do that, you probably need to have a groundswell. You're never going to get a better one with Ian Reesley as the RI president,
Yeah.
who, if he's on board, can kick a few backsides and get the thing really running. Now, that might well mean a lot of work by your organisation, but have you thought of doing it?
We've actually done it, Ross.
We have.
We did it at the Melbourne Institute, and myself and a couple of others. Ken didn't make it; he got crook or hurt his back, I think. But yeah, we set up a stall there and manned that stall. We did. That's where we got our contacts for that New England area. So there was. And, so then we had a stall at Penrith as well, and I wasn't able to attend the Penrith one, but those said that they didn't get much interest, so they then decided not to support the Institute at Darwin, which is about to happen. But there's Lawson, who's from Brisbane and one of our big fans up in that area. And he thought we should have been in Darwin, and maybe he's correct. And he was prepared to help man that, but we've left it too late on that stage. So yeah, we'll see what happens for the next one. We'll discuss it, and we may go to Hobart.
Right. Okay, thanks. Because I believe I agree also with Norm's point about the education departments. If district governors and zone directors aren't asking education departments and putting pressure on them on your behalf, then the game's really a bubble, because all you're doing is pleading with the local schools to help, or to become involved, should I say.
Yeah, okay, good point.
Don, it's Bruce. I'm just wondering if you might mention the structure of Dream Cricket and the fact that anyone who's interested can in fact become a member and can be involved, and that membership is a great way of supporting Dream Cricket, both financially and with other forms of support.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Yes, you did mention that earlier, and then I omitted it. Yes, we have the board. There's 7 board members, and I think it's 13 full members, and then we have associate membership, which it's at $25 a year. So that's the area where we would ask that those who wish to support Dream Cricket might do so, as Bruce said, financially, and also support in conducting the programs, the clinics, holidays. So that applications for that are on the website, and so you might encourage your club members to look there and perhaps support us that way, and that allow us to do a bit more work, spread a bit further.
Don, it's Ross. Do you have deductible gift recipient status as a result of, or to assist that giving?
Yes, we do.
Great. That could be publicised as well then.
Yeah, I would expect it would also be on the website, but I'll check that too.
Great.
Yeah.
Don, it's Lyndall. I just wondered if you have somewhere where the Rotary clubs that are involved in Dream Cricket are actually acknowledged and can be seen to be doing things that may encourage more clubs to become involved as well.
Yeah. Would you be thinking of the website for that or something?
Yeah, no, I think the website would be fine. I mean, we're an electronic club. We do a lot of things on our website. And we can certainly put a link to Dream Cricket on our website. We're getting close to the end of the meeting, so if nobody else has any more questions. No? I'd just like to say thank you very much for taking the time tonight, Don. I think what I'm hearing from you is that you would love us to continue supporting Dream Cricket and building relationships with our local schools to get the clinic days running and kits in there and encouraging them to use them on a regular basis. We certainly have been, many members of our club have been involved in clinic days and have also been involved in the gala days that have been held here in Canberra. And Judy and Margaret and Norm have done an amazing job getting things started in the Shoalhaven area as well in the last 12 months. So we're doing our best to evangelise for Dream Cricket, and I wish you every success in the future. And again, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us tonight.
Thank you, Lyndall, and keep up the good work down there. You're going great.